This is Perseverance. Perseverance is the Mars rover due to be launched from NASA in July 2020. And this week, for our science, we're going to make a self-propelled rover. Perseverance is going to be launched hopefully in late July from Cape Canaveral in Florida. It's going to land 687 days later at Jezero Crater on Mars. And its task is to seek signs of ancient life and collect rock and soil samples for possible return to Earth. Our school value for this time is perseverance, and so it's very fitting as we all continue to persevere at home and in our bubbles that the Mars rover is going to be named this too. Your task this week will necessitate a degree of perseverance as you work to try and make sure your very own Mars rover works. You're going to need your science knowledge of forces and elasticity, as well as taking care measuring and trial and error. Have a look at this clip and meet the 13-year-old who actually named the rover. Here's a picture of the tabletop rover that you're going to make. You can see the rubber band in the middle, and that's what's going to be able to power your tabletop rover to roll across the table. Have a look at the discussions now and imagine you're giving every person around this table an answer. Can you find a rubber band? Stretch it. Let it go. What happens? Now go and find some balls. Small balls, big balls, marbles, any balls at all. What happens when you drop each one? Do they all bounce? Which one bounces the highest? Why? What happens if you deliberately throw the ball onto the floor with more force? Does the same ball still bounce the highest? Once you've had a try bouncing all of them, can you make a line of the balls from the one which bounces the least, or not at all, to the one that bounces the highest? So which ball won? Your bouncy rubber ball might have bounced the highest because it has the greatest elasticity. When the rubber ball hits the ground, it gets compressed or squished, and because it's very elastic, it quickly returns to its original shape. When it does this, it pushes back on the ground and shoots back up into the air. A marble, on the other hand, which is the hardest out of some of the balls that you might have tested, has the least elasticity, so it doesn't bounce as high. It doesn't get squished at all when it lands, so it has a harder time changing its direction from down to up. Why does the rubber band spring back, and why do some of the balls bounce? Potential energy is stored in the rubber band as it's stretched. When you release the band, the energy transfers from potential energy to kinetic energy and makes it spring across the room. The force of the ball hitting the hard ground puts an equal force back onto the ball, meaning it bounces back up. This happens because balls are made out of an elastic material, which allows them to be squashed or stretched and then return to their original shape. Both the balls and the band are elastic. Elasticity is an object's ability to return to its original shape after being stretched or squeezed. These are our results. Did you remember to make your investigation a fair test? We dropped 2 balls at a time from the same height. Then we started to place the balls in order from the least bouncy to the most bouncy. The moon ball surprised me. I didn't think it would be the winner. How do you think you can use elasticity to make your Mars rover move? Why do you think this rubber band might not work? How strong do your axles, the pencils here, need to be? Why is the size of the wheels important? Why do you think blue tack might be necessary for the driving wheels? Would it help to add any cargo or weight to your rover? Why do the axles, the pencils, need to be able to turn freely in the cardboard box? Why do your axles need to be set apart and not right next to each other? And why are the position of the wheel holes important? The band in this picture, when I tried it, is too stiff or strong. It is stretchy, but it takes too much force to stretch it, and so the Mars rover doesn't go anywhere at all. The pencils, I found, work really well. Barbecue skewers weren't strong enough and they just bent too much or broke. The wheels convert the force of the elastic band into forwards motion. If the wheels are too big, the elastic band will struggle to make your rover move. If the wheels are too small, the energy will be used up too quickly. I had to put blue tack on my driving wheels to create some friction, because otherwise my wheels just span and the little rover didn't go anywhere. I wondered if putting some form of cargo in my rover might help give it some weight and stop it just from bouncing over the table. You'll have to see what you think when you make yours. If you don't make your axles turn freely, then the wheels struggle to turn and you won't get your rover to move anywhere at all. And if you put them too close together, similarly, it just won't work. Think about where you need to put your wheels. If you sit your wheels right on the floor, if they don't sit on the floor, then your rover's not going to work. Your wheels need to be on the floor, lifting your rover off the floor for your rover to go anywhere at all. So this is what you'll need: a cardboard box or a piece of cardboard, some stronger cardboard for the wheels, 2 pencils for your axles, a rubber band, and some blue tack. It's quite interesting to explore several different rubber bands and see if you can get the optimum, the very best rubber band to work. You might like to have a look at the link to We the Curious here, because I got my idea from them and they give an example of how to make your Mars rover at home. I've also included a template attached in the description of the YouTube, just in case you'd prefer to do this rather than design your own. But there's no reason any box, like a cereal box, shouldn't work. The challenge this week is to make your Mars rover move. If it doesn't work to start with, can you work out why? How can you change it slightly to make it work? These were the dimensions that I used. Which of these challenges do you think you've achieved while constructing your Mars rover? Now it's your time to have a go. It takes quite a lot of perseverance and quite a lot of testing and changing to make your Mars rover move. When you finally make it go across your table, have a go and take a picture of it and send it into the school year group email address. When you've finished all of that, can you try drawing your rover and label it? How many scientific words can you include to explain how it works? Here are a few words you might choose to include here. And then finally, can you look at the picture of perseverance and explain what the designers needed to take into account when they were designing it? Why are those wheels so very big? What do you think's right on top of the rover? What function has that got? What do you think the arms function have? Think of the temperature on Mars. What does your rover have to endure in terms of temperature? And when you've done all of that, take a picture of your work and send it into school. But most importantly, enjoy. I can't wait to see pictures of your Perseverance Mars rover module. If you really enjoyed doing this, you might like to discover a little more. Did you know that stretching the rubber band creates a linear force, but wrapping the rubber band around the axle, you create a torque? A torque is a rotational force. The torque causes the wheels to turn, which creates a force between the tyre and the floor, resulting in the car moving. And some of these different clips below are really, really good. The first one is a link to the NASA website to find out a little bit more about Perseverance. And the lower two, still about Perseverance, are different YouTube clips explaining in a little bit more depth exactly how Perseverance is going to work and what its job is going to do when it's on Mars.